Hello and welcome to Education Today. My name is Bill Kerr, Superintendent of Schools for the Armstrong School District. First, I'd like to thank everybody at WIUP-TV for airing this broadcast. Today we're going to talk about two new district programs that were designed to spotlight our educational initiatives and to raise our profile in the community. One is Armstrong School District's state-of-the-art TV studio. The other is the district's new school and community relations coordinator position. With me to talk about the TV studio is Assistant Superintendent Dr. Frank Garitano. He is in charge of secondary education and district programs. Also, I have Jonathan Zish with me today. He is the new school and community relations coordinator for the district. Gentlemen, welcome to Education Today.
Thank you, Dr. Kerr.
Gentlemen.
My pleasure.
Mr. Zish, thank you. Let's start with Dr. Garitano. Frank, if you just give us an idea how this program started. I think it's obvious that we're all thrilled and excited about the new TV studio. How did it all come together and how did you get it started?
Well, historically in the schools, morning announcements have been via audio. And a few years ago, the students in the school started to do the morning announcements during video. So we wanted to promote that and move forward with that. Fort City High School used some of their academic success money to purchase some equipment. And from that point on, then we purchased other equipment for the other schools. Shortly thereafter, we were very fortunate to receive a donation from two businessmen, Dr. Paul and Mr. Toy, who donated equipment for our studio. So as we moved forward with it, we decided that we wanted to have what I call satellite programs in the schools where students are taught by teachers and have some editing equipment, some cameras, and work at the schools. And then move a step up and bring it to a district studio. So we decided to use the equipment donated to create a district studio, and we renovated two classrooms here at Katanning Area Middle School and have placed our district studio where we are today.
Would you mind taking time to explain to our viewers what a PEG channel is and how the Armstrong School District would like to get involved with such a concept?
The PEG channel is an acronym for Public Educational Government Channel. And according to the laws that govern the cable industry, the cable companies need to offer an access channel under the franchise agreements that they have with the local municipalities. And currently the Philadelphia Cable Company has 7 such agreements with local municipalities. And what the Armstrong School District is asking that we are the programmer for the local access channel for this area.
So in other words, communities here along our rivers, basically in the Alakiski Valley, have agreements with the present cable company?
That is correct, and not all of them have that agreement in their franchise contract, but 7 of them do, and those are the 7 that we're working with at this point in time.
Okay, thank you. What is the difference between an access channel and a leased access channel?
An access channel is a non-commercial channel that public programming is dedicated to. And the local municipalities are permitted to run the channel themselves or designate someone. And that's what we are currently in the process of trying to have coordinated. Whereas a leased access channel is a channel in which the entity who would like to do the programming must pay a fee to the cable company, and at which time they are allowed to look for advertisers to sponsor their commercials. So that's the difference between the two.
And so when the Armstrong School District acquires a PEG channel, what is it that you plan to do with it, and what type of programming will you provide?
Well, we're looking to provide programming opportunities for the students. We want the students to be able to work in the schools and film events, whether it be athletic contests, whether it be a concert, a choral concert, a band concert, a play that they're putting on, barring copyright laws. We want them to have practice in doing that. And then once they work on it at the school, is bring it to the studio and refine it by using a little higher level of equipment so they have actual practice in from start until end, from the beginning of the project, editing it, putting it together, having it taped, and showing what the end product looks like.
In an upcoming program, we will actually have some students on the program to talk about their experiences. But what were some of your impressions with the first group of students that participated in the taping from Ford City High School?
I think they were very excited. We certainly had the students act as the production crew, from the floor manager to the camera operators to working the mixers and so on. And it was to a point where you could just see the excitement in their eye. They, in fact, did not want to leave at the end of the day, which indicated to me that this is something they enjoy and want to do. And we want to provide those opportunities for the students so they can actually see, I've put this together, look, it's on a local channel, so that moms and dads and parents and grandparents can actually see what their sons, daughters, and friends have done.
And from what we've seen today, Mr. Bauer is here from Katanning High School with 7 of his students. They seem to be having a lot of fun today in putting all of this program together.
Absolutely. I've had an opportunity to spend some time at Katanning High School with Mr. Bauer and the students, and what they are doing there with the equipment they have is just truly amazing to me because of the energy that's shown by the students under the leadership of Mr. Bauer.
Dr. Garatano, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of our school board and administration and school district in general. You've put many hours of good leadership, strong leadership to help make this project possible. So we thank you very much.
I appreciate that, Dr. Kerr. I think it's something we all work toward, whether it be in central office or whether it be the building. We want to provide good educational opportunities for the kids, and this is something I'm certainly enthused about myself.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining us. I'm going to turn to Mr. Zish at this point. We're going to talk about the school and community relations effort that he is undertaking. Jonathan, you just joined the Armstrong School District recently. A new position was created as a result of a retirement. In fact, a new position was reworked through a change in job description, but no additional tax dollars are being spent for the school district. Let me just point out that it's our understanding and my personal knowledge that Dr. Mentir, a former school board member, actually came up with the idea maybe 5 years ago to create the position of School and Community Relations Coordinator. And so that has come to fruition, and we're real pleased that we now have you on board. Would you like to tell us a little bit about the goals of your job?
Well, yes. Thank you, Dr. Kerr, for having me on the show. And let me congratulate you, Dr. Garatano, and the school board for envisioning education today. What we have right here, the sky's the limit as far as I'm concerned. My goal as School and Community Relations Coordinator, broadly speaking, is to be a liaison between the school district and the community at large. And that has many far-reaching implications that are all very exciting. That could include anything from building relationships with the media, with community groups, ordinary residents. It could mean giving presentations to senior citizens about what they're getting for their tax dollar. And at Armstrong School District, they're getting quite a lot. It means putting together the informative newsletter that goes out to 22,500 residents of the district, making sure it's fact-filled. It also includes seeking out and writing press releases about our educational initiatives at all 13 of our school buildings. It could include updating our website to include new content and make it more navigable. And, well, right here, Dr. Kerr, Education Today, I am privileged to be the scriptwriter for the programs that we do each week. And that is, I feel, a great honor to be a part of what is the showcase for our best educational initiatives. So I'm very honored to be here.
We're very pleased to have you as a part of the Armstrong School District. You spent 8 years as a newspaper reporter, education writer with the Valley News Dispatch. How have you made the transition, and so far, how do you like working for the Armstrong School District?
Well, I can look you straight in the eye and tell you that I absolutely love working here. Every day is an adventure. I often find that I'm so engrossed in the projects that I have to do that I don't even notice it's quitting time. And about the transition, it's interesting. For 8 years at a newspaper, I reported the news. Now with the Armstrong School District, we are making the news, and I'm very happy to be getting that out into the hands of the community.
Tell us, John, about your newspaper background specifically and how that helps you in the position with the Armstrong School District.
Okay. Well, like you said, I was an education reporter for 5 years with the Valley News-Dispatch. And that, I think, predisposes me to understand the many complex issues that public schools are facing today. Public schools are dealing with everything from the No Child Left Behind law, which sets benchmarks of student performance on state exams, to a myriad of other mandates that I think schools are juggling very well. When I covered education at the Valley News-Dispatch, I was responsible for 14 school districts and all of their initiatives, and kind of managing all that information took quite a bit of organization. One of the things that I am most proud of is a package that I did that ran in 2003, which was the first summer that the No Child Left Behind law, well, so to speak, the rubber was going to hit the road that year, and test scores were going to count. So I did a several-page package about just the implications of that at all of the 14 school districts, and I had a little fun with it. I got a group of 10 parents from around the area and tested them. I gave them the math test for the PSSA, and just sort of, they subjected themselves to the humiliation of having their scores published. Just, you know, taking new angles on education is what I like to do when I was at the paper, to raise awareness of all the great things that are going on in public schools.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that experience. You also, when you started with the Armstrong School District, you kind of hit the road running with Community
Indeed.
Awareness Day. And of course, that happened on January 10th. And just maybe for our viewers, describe what your role was and what your experiences were with that project.
Sure. That was a massive undertaking where we used every possible outlet to portray the message that drugs kill dreams. And the school district was a major player in that. The school district made a 10-minute video that talked about the various social ills such as drug abuse, child abuse, domestic violence, alcohol abuse. We took that video and played it in almost every secondary school in Armstrong County. Not just the school district we're in, but we reached out to Leechburg, Freeport area, and Apollo Ridge to bring their students into it. Teachers showed the video, discussed it in class, and there was a lot of positive feedback about the day. My role was also to help with the newsletter that we print, making sure that a informative brochure about Community Awareness Day got into the hands of 22,500 people in the district, you know, so that it was attention-grabbing and accurate.
When you walk into school buildings, there's this electrifying experience. You have this passion for education.
Indeed.
Tell our viewers what happens when you walk into a school building full of wonderful young children
Yes.
and teachers.
I'll tell you, when I walk into a school building, an amazing thing always happens without fail, and I hope it continues to happen. It seems like good story ideas for positive, you know, public relations come flying at me from out of the woodwork. I'll give you an example. At Katanning Middle School a couple weeks ago, I was visiting a teacher, and I hear this knock on the door. In walks a student dressed entirely from head to foot in old newspapers, with only 2 slits for eyes to see out of. It appears this is the recycling monster. And this student, whose identity shall remain nameless, visits each classroom to kind of preach the message that you shouldn't throw away paper, but instead you should put it in bins provided by the recycling club. So the recycling monster is the official spokesperson of the Katanning Area Middle School Recycling Club. And it was just sort of a neat happenstance that the recycling monster appeared while I was there, and I made a mental note of it. I thought this was very interesting. We've got to tell the Leader Times about this. So I invited them to come take a picture, and they were gracious enough to accept. And I think our students got a big kick out of seeing themselves in the paper for the recycling monster.
That's great. Well, one of the goals, in fact, is to build a better relationship with the local news media, including
Indeed.
obviously the Leader Times. They're our county newspaper, and they've always been very gracious in opening their doors for publicity about our students. That's the focus that we want to keep on student achievement and all of the activities. So that's good news to hear.
Yes.
That you've shared with us. You have the passion for education.
Right.
How did it develop?
I think if you go back to high school and college, I was always the person who was in the library spending his free time with books. I'm an academic person by nature. I love to see students learn, and I love to see the light bulbs go off. And so that's just a natural outgrowth of that.
Anything that you'd like to add today to talk about our school and community relations program in the district?
Oh, I just welcome the community to call me at 763-5268 anytime to discuss issues, ideas, how to improve school and community relations. My email address can also be found on the Armstrong School District website, and I would love, for people to visit me. Come by the administration office right on Route 66.
Let's see if the camera can turn around and get a shot of Dawn Swanson in the control room.
Well, we have the kids coming on a rotating basis from our 4 high schools. Whichever high school's up, they arrive at 8 o'clock in the morning. And first thing we do is introduce them to the studio. We show them all the equipment that's here, talk a little bit about it, what it entails, why we use it as far as producing a program. And we get a little bit of a feel for who would like to try what out, and then let them go ahead on it and pretty much let them experiment and go into more detail on how to use it and also why they're using it in the manner in which they are, because any good media program is one half technology oriented on how you do it and another half focused on why you're doing it the way that you're doing it. Spend a little bit of time going out into other areas, larger areas such as TV, sitcom, drama shows, film, all that kind of things, and how everything kind of interrelates, and ideas and ways of doing things and equipment used kind of crosses over all of those. By about 11 o'clock, the host and the guests begin to show up, and we man it up, and it's the students from whichever school's up that day. They're on the cameras. They're back here on the switcher, switching between the cameras. They're running the audio. They're rigging the lights. They're mixing the sound. They're running the teleprompter. They're acting as floor manager. They're gripping. They do everything. They really do man the show, and it can be a little intense, especially if you're on the camera switcher or running the 2 cameras, because it's a real live situation. We're going live to tape whenever we shoot these shows, and we get through one batch of shows and the kids switch up to another piece of equipment that they might be interested in. And in some cases where we have a larger class, some kids might not be on a specific piece of equipment per se on the first show, so they're switch off, they're kind of hang out with somebody to see how they do it, and when we move to the second show, it's their turn and they switch onto that. The person that was on that piece of equipment either moves on to something else or spends that show checking out something else they might want to do. It's good for them educationally. It's a practical, real-life experience. Obviously, television or film or anything of that nature doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's a collaborative effort, and everybody on every job, no matter what it is, during the production of a live broadcast, or in our case, live to tape, is responsible for what they're doing in relationship to what everybody else is doing. If one person screws up, the entire thing goes down. So you have to really work together and trust one another, and that comes across, and that's a good life lesson for the kids as well.
I'd like to thank Dawn for that overview. It's very, very exciting. I'd like to thank Dr. Garetano once again for joining us on Education Today. Mr. Zish, thank you as well.
Thank you, Dr. Kerr.
Appreciate it. Also, let's thank Ed Bauer, who teaches television production classes at Katanning Senior High School, and all of his students for doing an outstanding job today as the crew on site right here at AHS-TV. Until next time, have a safe and enjoyable week.